Hello, everybody. Welcome to Field and News and Friends. I'm going to be your host today. I am Marcela Onyango, and Field and News and Friends is a show that I tell you about pieces of news, and then I invite my friends to come and tell you how to feel about the news. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today. I'm super excited to have you. If you have any comments and you want to leave them in the chat, please do that, and I can talk to you right between the guests. I'm super excited about today's lineup. We have got Ariel Evans, who's a really funny comedian. We've got Veronica Garza, who's also a really funny comedian. I think you're getting it. We've got Dylan Adla, who's also a really, really funny comedian. And I think it's going to be a really fun, exciting show. So let's just go ahead and get into the news. We've got 3 pieces of news today, and this is the first one. Okay, so the first piece of news is about Joe Biden being shitty, as Joe Biden usually is. So this piece of news is Joe Biden has renominated a Trump federal judge. That's right, a Trump federal judge. Her name is Jennifer Riordan, and her greatest hits include defending an apartment building for discriminating against people living with HIV/AIDS, so not a good person. This renomination of a soulless judge by Joe proves that the main difference between Joe Biden and Trump is that one of them has a tanning budget. I'm going to let y'all guess which one of them has a tanning budget. Obviously, Trump did not nominate Riordan because of her dedication to improving the lives of humanity. Another one of Riordan's greatest hits was representing Chevron, the oil company, against a human rights lawyer. Yes, Joe Biden nominated a judge who was against human rights, which is actually not surprising because maintaining human suffering was one of Joe's silent campaign promises. But Biden keeps showing us over and over who he is, which is a corporate Pinocchio. Instead of being built by Geppetto, he was built by corporate donors. And instead of his nose growing when he lies, he just falls up the stairs. The only silver lining in all this really shitty news is that people are finally catching on that Joe is not a good guy. Joe's approval rating is now 42%, which is the second lowest of any president after 1 year. And if you guess that the only president who has a lower rating after their first year than Biden is Trump, then you are correct. Also, I'm really surprised at the 42% approval rating because who are these people? Like, I knew that corporations were people too, but I didn't know they made up 42% of the US voting populace. But anyway, that is the news. And I'm going to invite my very, very funny friend, Dylan Adler, to tell me. Hi, Dylan. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you tell people about the news and also just generally to speak with you. But yes. Dylan, before I ask you any feelings about the news, I just want to make sure that the audience can trust your politics.
Okay.
And I can trust your politics. Because if your politics are shitty, we shouldn't trust your feelings about the news.
1,000%.
So I have 2 questions for you to help me understand whether people should actually trust you. So my first question to you, Dylan, is who do you think would be a better federal judge? Your meanest teacher or that clown from It?
Oh my God. Honestly, I feel like the clown from It is kind of a radical leftist. And my meanest...
Wait, how so?
Like, I feel like the vibe is like free healthcare. I don't know, of It is like...
You think that he's like free healthcare and murder kids?
Yeah, it's just like that I don't agree with. That, the murdering kids I don't agree with, but like, I feel like the It clown is absolutely like kind of here for, you know, more like for socialism.
Or like he's for totally wearing makeup, but also making sure that you don't use WebMD as your doctor.
1,000%, 1,000%. It's organic makeup.
It's organic makeup. He's not putting those toxins on his face. And he's going to make sure that those toxins are not in your life.
100%.
Dylan, that was a good answer, but I will tell you that the right answer is that no one should be a judge because no one should have to wear those ugly robes. And also, no one should have that much power. But because you picked It, the clown, because you think that his makeup is toxin-free and he might give us free healthcare, I feel like maybe we can trust you a tiny bit. Let's go to the next question. Okay. If you were a judge, what law would you immediately make unconstitutional?
What if I were a judge, what law would I immediately make unconstitutional? If that law about that doesn't let gays donate blood, after like is still in place, that does like after like 3 years,
I
if
think
they
it's
they
still
have
in place. Somebody
it's still in
fact check
place.
me.
I'd
I
remove
think it's
that.
still in
I'd
place.
remove
Yeah.
that. I am a gay who has not had sex in 3 years, so I've it's like been a while. I can actually donate blood as a gay man, but for my whore gay friends, they should get to donate too.
For all the people who get it on the regular, they should also be able to save people with their blood. Just because you're getting
Yes,
asked doesn't mean that you should
yes.
not be able to help others.
My sluts deserve to be able to donate blood too.
Yeah, sluts should
Yeah.
be able to donate blood. Another thing about that law about blood donation is that it's also racist because I was born in Africa. I was not allowed to donate blood for a while. I don't know if I
Oh my
can donate
God.
now, but I think it's like if you were born in Africa in like the 80s. So yeah, it's racist and homophobic and
Hmm.
probably just a law that hates humans. So I feel like that's a really good law for you to want to get
Yeah.
rid of.
Yeah.
It was a good answer
Okay.
because I really
Cool.
liked
Cool.
it.
Cool. Yay.
But
Yay.
an answer that I think is slightly not a is also a good answer, but not as good as your answer is
Uh-huh.
that
Uh-huh.
the right answer, if I didn't go with your answer, which I'm picking as the right answer now, is that it should be illegal. It should be illegal for people to go to prison for stealing from rich people. Like I think that it should be perfectly legal for you to
Yes.
walk into a billionaire's house and take whatever the fuck you want. Like that's the law that I would get rid of.
Absolutely.
Stealing from rich people being illegal. That would be my law. But I like that first because more blood, baby, and blood
More
for
blood.
we want that
We
blood.
want that slut blood, you
We
know?
need it. Maybe it'll help some of us get some ass. I'm confirmed gay, so I don't have to
Exactly.
worry about getting ass. But for everybody
Yeah,
else who might not be able to get as much ass, I think that yes, gay people should be allowed
exactly.
to donate blood. What the fuck? This is 2022. Why do I have to say that? Oh
Yeah,
Lord, help
I
us
know.
all.
Also, that thing about stealing from a billionaire, like in a Bling Empire, which I watched, it was like the main character Anna, who's like a billionaire, was like, one of my best friends walked out of here with $1 million worth of stuff. I was like, yes, queen, you take that, take what you need.
Take what you need because they're not gonna even realize it's missing. They're not, honestly.
No,
It should be a
no.
crime for them to have that much stuff. That's what we should make a crime, not
Mm-hmm.
stealing from them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
not stealing, actually. It's just called reclaiming.
Yeah,
That's the word.
exactly. It's called
Whereas
Robin Hood.
in Robin Hood,
Yeah.
love it. Okay, so let's talk about the news, Dylan. Okay,
Yes.
so the news that I just told you is about Biden renominating a judge who Trump nominated who's against human rights. How do you think people
Mhm.
should feel about Joe renominating a judge who doesn't believe in human rights to be a judge again?
People should be mad. I didn't know that, and I was like mad hearing it. I'm like, what the fuck, Joe? Fucking liar. He brands himself as this. Trump is, I'm gonna be the antithesis, and like he's just, he's completely, yeah. It's like he's Trump without a tan.
He is Trump without a tan. And honestly,
Yeah.
I've never said this about anybody but Joe Biden. Maybe you should just get a tan so we know where you stand. Like, I feel like at this point,
I
you should just
agree.
get a tan so that we know that you and Trump they're not hanging out, but they share the same feelings about things. Like, for example, like Joe Biden is opening like the Gulf for drilling, which is like the one of
Oh
the
my
biggest
God.
auctions for like on the United States for drilling,
That's
which
right. That's right.
is like you
Yeah.
want to lose Florida, which I think all of us might be fans of, but also like we don't all want to be underwater.
Exactly, exactly. Oh my freaking, it's like yeah, just as you're saying, he's proven time and time and again he is older, paler Trump, kind of.
Old, paler Trump who cannot walk up the stairs. We do not shame people for not being able to walk upstairs, except for Joe Biden.
Yes,
But
yeah.
now that we're talking about Joe Biden having a low approval rating, I do want to ask you, how should you feel about people thinking that the only president worse than Joe Biden after his first year is Trump? Like,
How should people feel about that?
how do you think people should feel about that?
Bad. I think people should feel
That music, Dylan, you like
yeah.
literally song. We hate Joe. We hate Joe.
We hate Joe. People should feel bad that the approval rating is so bad for tan Trump and also paler Trump. Yeah, I think people should feel bad about that. I mean, like, there have been like 51 presidents. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess for me, it's like I feel like people should feel good because we all now realize people are realizing that Joe Biden is actually trash. But they should feel bad because we have trash as president. But also, I think trash,
exactly.
that's insulting to trash because trash was useful at some point. Um,
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. If sometimes you
trash was
compost
useful.
it. Yeah, trash is useful sometimes. So that's exactly what we want to convey. Yeah.
I just love that you were here with a peer. You were one of my favorite people on this planet. Okay, last but not least,
I'm
what do
sorry.
you
Oh yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
we don't see. We don't know what happened. It's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry
Okay.
about it. Nobody knows. Nothing happened. You're fine.
Okay.
So last but not least, this is a solutions podcast. It's really not. I don't come up with solutions, but I like to get you to solve my problems. What do you
Yeah.
think people should do about Biden renominating a Trump federal judge who's proven time and time that they're against human rights, they're against
Yeah.
people, they're against minimum wage? Like, what do you think people should do about this?
I think that people should be able. I'm actually embarrassed that I didn't know that this happened. I just learned about it. So I think there needs to be like public discourse about it. People should be contacting their senators, their congress people about like like vehemently disagreeing with the nomination. And because
What's
I feel
something petty that people should do? All the solutions you're giving me are I mean, I don't know, calling
yeah,
senators, that doesn't usually
yeah.
work. But what's a petty? Like, what would Dylan do? What would
Oh my
Dylan do
God, what
to
would
Joe
I
Biden?
do? I would be like,
Would you sing him a song, a hateful song? Would
yeah,
you
I would be like, Joe, I was minorly exposed to someone with COVID, and then when I see you, I'll be like, happy birthday. That's what I'd be like to Joe.
And if you didn't hear that completely, what Dylan is saying is that he would give Joe COVID if he could. But this is
If I
a
could.
comedy show and we make jokes.
Yes,
So the
we make jokes. We
CIA,
make jokes.
I
Yes.
need you not to be listening to this and trying to arrest Dylan. He's very funny, and many people will attack you if you try to remove him from our lives where he makes us laugh a lot. Dylan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Marcela.
I will have you
This is
right
so
back
fun.
to talk about more news and also to do a little song for us. So we're really
Amazing.
excited. Okay,
Amazing.
fun. That was Dylan Adler. He's so funny and just really exciting to watch. So I'll give you his details right after the show so you could follow him and enjoy a lot of his music. Let's move on to the next piece of news. I want to talk about billionaires because, well, I hate them. And if you don't, what is wrong with you? But anyway, billionaires have donated $1.5 billion to the 2020 United States elections. And by donating, what I really mean is that they paid politicians to tell you to pull yourself by your own bootstraps and become your own doctor instead of begging for free healthcare. The interesting thing is that that $1.5 billion was split pretty evenly between Democrats and Republicans, with Republicans getting 55%. I think that the Republicans got the 5%, which is a little bit more than Democrats, is because the Republicans are willing to be more openly cruel. While the Democrats are always just like, we want you to have healthcare, but like we can't. Republicans are like, we don't want you to have healthcare because you deserve to die. So maybe that's why they're getting that additional 5%. But billionaires funding the Democrats and Republicans similarly should just be additional proof to you that Wycliffe was right when he said cash rules everything around me. Also, the fact that billionaires are giving money to both Democrats and Republicans should prove to you once again that these parties are not separate parties. They're playing for the same team. Same team. Sorry, can I talk? And I'm not really sure why you need more proof that Republicans and Democrats are the same party after everything we've been through and the fact that you don't have healthcare. So just like get on board. But I guess the point that I really wanted to make at the end about this whole business of billionaires giving the same money to Democrats as they are to Republicans is the fact that the government is allowing billionaires to be able to bribe lawmakers. That does not mean that the system is broken. That means that the system is working exactly as it should. Because if you don't remember, the government was founded by white enslavers. The United States government, that is, was founded by white enslavers who only allowed rich white men to vote. So when the United States became a country, only rich men were allowed to vote. So the government has always been run by rich people, was built for rich people, and specifically rich white people. So every single time you're wondering, why won't the government do anything for me? I want you to ask yourself this question. Would Jeff Bezos' bodyguard let you punch Jeff Bezos in the face? Obviously not, because you know he works for him. Nonetheless, that is the news about billionaires being able to give money to Democrats and Republicans as much money as they want. And so I'm going to bring up Veronica Garza, who's a very funny stand-up comedian, to help me tell you how you should feel about this piece of news. Thank you for having us. Thank you for being on the show, Veronica.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yay, I'm excited that you're here. Veronica, before I get into your feelings about the news, I'm going to ask you some questions about your politics.
Okay.
So I can decide whether the audience can trust you, and the audience can decide whether they can trust you and your politics, because if we can't trust your politics, and that means your feelings about the news can't be trusted either, because they are trash. Alrighty. Are you ready for these questions?
I am.
Yes, let's get into it. Okay. If you had the power to either let Jeff Bezos stay a billionaire or give all his money to your arch nemesis, what would you do?
Oh, no. See, hate is strong. Jeff can keep his money.
You want Jeff to keep his money? So you think a billionaire who lets people die in a trash can should keep his money?
He got my sofa here in less than 48 hours, so I don't hate him completely.
Oh, so as long as you get your sofa, everybody can die. Got it.
I'm over 35. I'm over 35. I got to keep some of the money I have.
As long as I'm comfortable, everybody else can just work till they die.
I got a list of enemies.
Veronica, I hate to tell you this, but that was the wrong answer. The right answer is that you should take all that money and burn it, because no one should have $1 billion. That would be a lot of gas and fire. I mean, is that even safe? Maybe don't burn it. Maybe that was not the right answer. Maybe just like
build a house with it. Like, boom! Look at me making change. Creating homes, sustainable things,
with
reusing, with money. Dang, see, look at that.
Just like turn the little like bills into like bricks and just
see, look at that. Oh yeah.
And be like, this is bricks, and then burn the house down. That's fine. We could do. Okay. Next question for you is: do you think that people should be able to bribe politicians?
No, I don't. Unless, well, actually, I feel like we're gonna have to bribe some of them to learn to like actually do good things. You know, like, because they keep making wrong decisions. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I mean, I feel like they should get a little bit of incentive. You know what I mean? Like
they're getting incentives now to make the wrong decisions.
Yeah, so they need to like make the right. I'm like, I go just like $5 more.
So just give them more money and hope that the more money we give them, the better
they make the right decision. They need, I mean, but we need to know that they're going to make the right decision. That's all I'm saying, because they do some fucked up stuff for money, and I'm just saying, you know.
Okay. Well, I hate to tell you this, but that was also the wrong answer.
Go for it. Yeah. Go for it.
The right answer is that people should be able to not bribe politicians, but boo them because they work for rich people, and they should be ashamed of themselves every day.
Well, so, you can do that anyway if you give them money. Yeah, yeah. If you give them money, you're also allowed to boo them, of course. Yeah. It's like going to a basketball game.
Sorry.
It's like going to a Knicks game. You pay for the ticket, but you boo the other team. Like, that's just a thing.
But I think that a Knicks game is fun and politicians are not. So I don't think they should get any money. And
see, now I don't trust you.
But see, that's I love that, because it sounds like you and I don't trust each other, and because we can't trust each other, I don't think the audience should trust you, but they should trust me, because I think I have a bigger mic now.
You do.
And also because I do hate politicians and the fact that they get money from rich people. But yeah, so Veronica's feelings about this news will be a little sus, but they're gonna probably be funny, so you should keep listening. Okay, so Veronica, how do you think people should feel about both Democrats and Republicans getting money from billionaires and it being about the same amount?
That wasn't my article.
They got 55% more. Oh, that wasn't your article?
No.
What was your article?
Seizing the machines.
Oh, I got this totally mixed up.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay, Veronica, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to go, and then I'm gonna bring Ariel here to talk about this.
They'll never see me again. You don't trust me.
Oh, you're coming back. You're coming back. You are coming back.
Okay.
All right, cool. I'm gonna remove you, and then I'm gonna bring Ariel. Hey, Ariel, sorry, my bad. We're gonna have to go through this again. My apologies.
No worries.
Oh, how did I mess this up? It's fine. And it said Veronica on there.
I don't know.
Excuse me, y'all. We're having technical issues / Marcela's brain is not working. Anyway, the piece of news that we're currently discussing is the fact that billionaires give as much money to Democrats and Republicans for elections. And here to discuss that piece of news with us is Ariel Evans. And Ariel Evans, before you get into your feelings about the news, I do want to ask you some questions so that we know whether the audience can trust you or your feelings about the news. Are you ready for these questions?
I am ready.
All right, cool. It's the hot seat. So first question, this kind of sucks because Veronica already answered some of these, but I'm going to ask you different questions that you were not expecting. Okay. Do you think that Donald Trump should run for president again?
I think that, the simple answer is no. But then what are we going to get him to do? I think we should make him bring back The Apprentice or something. Be like, okay, we're not going to give you the presidency, but you can have The Apprentice again. You can do that. He needs something to put his name on. And he obviously tried to put his name on democracy and that failed. So we need to give him something.
You think that we should just give him something to give him distracted like a baby at daycare? Like, here's a toy, play with it, leave us the fuck alone.
Exactly.
I like your answer, but it's not the right answer. So I'm like, no one's answers are right. Only my answers are right. Anyway, the right answer is that no one should be president because presidents are the worst and we do not like them. And if we're forced to have presidents, only Elmo should be able to do it.
I support that. No lies detected.
Elmo would be a lot more honest. He'll probably get into a fight with a rock, but that's okay. Next question is that do you think people should be allowed to vote?
Yes, I think Black people should be allowed to vote twice. Everybody should definitely be allowed to vote. Black people should be allowed to vote twice. I just think we usually get it right. So
I don't know if I can get mad at that answer. I love that answer. It's so good. It's really, really great, and I really, really love it. And you were really, really close because I do feel like that is gonna get us to the place where we need to get to. When Black people voted in the South, that was the first time that education was free. That was during Reconstruction. They did a lot of good things before white people were like, we don't like free education and Black people. They can't vote anymore. I do like that answer a lot. But I think also just as good of an answer is that no one should be able to vote because voting is a way to just trick us into thinking that we live in a democracy instead of a place that is run by Elon Musk and a bunch of other shitty white dudes. But in terms of rank, I think your answer is better than mine. I do like it. This is an open essay answer, so they can be multiple right answers. All right, cool. So let's get into talking about whether billionaires should be able to give as much money as they want to politicians. So, Ariel, how do you think people should feel about Democrats and Republicans getting almost the same amount of money from billionaires?
Not surprised because the two-party system is separate but equal. Literally, they're the exact same. That's it.
Except for with better words. Like instead of saying, fuck you, you deserve to die, they're like, it's okay, you deserve to live, but we're still gonna let you die. BLM.
Right. Totally. They're like at the Black Lives Matter protest, but they're like, yeah, but not really though. Democrats are. Republicans.
I went there ironically.
Exactly.
I could imagine somebody at a BLM rally going, Black Lives Matter. It's a joke. It's a joke. No one joke.
Right?
I feel like, they had those little, what was it like they wore when they knelt Nancy Pelosi and friends?
Oh, I don't know. Those the African
kente cloth? Yeah, they wore the kente cloths and then painted Black Lives Matter on the roads. And then Biden gave the police more money.
Exactly. They're like, what more do you guys want? We gave you street graffiti. Okay, settle down.
We said Black Lives Matter in yellow. Okay, calm the fuck down.
Exactly.
We definitely don't mean it. So yeah, no, I do agree with you that Republicans and Democrats are the exact same team and the same party. They just use different words. But from the article that I read, 5%, the Republicans got 5% more money than the Democrats. So I guess I want to know, why do you think that is the case? My hypothesis is that it's just because the Republicans are like meaner.
I think that's a good one. I think the extra 5% just like goes to the Republicans' like cocaine budget. They were like, we need this to do our cocaine. Okay, this is just purely coke budget. Everything else is gonna go whatever you want to.
Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense because a lot of them have been working in the Senate and the Congress for so long. They must need coke to be able to get up in the morning.
Have you ever seen some of them speak like on Fox News? It's wild. You're like, I felt like I just did cocaine.
I did cocaine through you. Exactly. Like, is it like, do you get contact from coke? If somebody else snorts it and is acting wild, you get high?
I guess when Republicans speak, you do.
Or do you wish you're on coke, or you feel like you're on coke?
Ooh. I am not gonna narc on myself.
This is a comedy show. Nothing here is real.
Okay.
Okay. Don't narc on yourself. You don't like snitches on the show, even if you're snitching on yourself. All right. Last question for you is that what do you think people should do about billionaires being able to bribe politicians?
I think this goes back to an earlier point. You should be able to steal their shit so they're not billionaires anymore.
Yes, make it legal too. Like, we should have the purge, but only like one way, where it's like only people who are not billionaires are allowed to participate, and billionaires are forced to have their doors open.
Right, exactly. That's how you redistribute wealth, and then you can be like, okay, you guys can still donate as much as you want, but you just have no money now.
I love that. That would be so funny. And I'm hoping that there's a Jeff Bezos house really close to me, because I don't even want his stuff. I just want to like have it so I can like burn it, you know?
I completely understand.
I'd be like, Alexa, tell Jeff Bezos that I'm burning his shit.
I don't want to burn his shit, but I really do want to punch him in the face. He has a very punchable face.
He looks like your fist might just like bounce off of it.
Right? It might feel like good for your fist. Maybe a little massage.
Just that's like self-care. Your self-care is punching billionaires. I love that for you.
I love that. That's a routine I can get behind.
Self-care, find the closest billionaire and punch them. Of course, we're joking. We do not believe in violence.
No.
We don't. We're comedians. We just like to tell jokes. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Aria. We're gonna bring you right back in a moment to give us your high moment. But before we get into more news, I want to bring a little break from the news. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be delicious. You saw him at the beginning of the show. Please welcome to the stage, to your screen, the very funny Dylan Adler.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Andrew Cunanan, and I'm just going to do a very quick comedy song, a short song. So at the college that I went to, I would see a lot of student-written musicals. And I saw one student-written musical that was about football. And I feel like the writer of the musical, much like myself, didn't know much about football. So I'm going to try to replicate a number from the football musical. I am playing the star Catterback. Here we go. Come on, boys. Let's play some ball, shall we? When I'm on the field, I feel strong. Hike, hike, touchdown. I rush past the line of scrimmage. I hear the fans applaud, but no one seems to know what it's like in my cleats. Whoa. Did I just concuss? Not again. Life is a game, that game is football. Make a play, catch the ball, paint your face, spank a butt. Life is a game, that game is football. Oh no! Fumble. Dear God, fumble. Go Mets. Thank you so much. That was the song. Thank you for letting me do that, Marcela.
Oh, thank you so much for this song, Dylan. I really needed that refreshing reminder that football is not fun, but when people sing about it, it's really fun, and I
That
really
makes
loved
it
it.
all the more worthwhile to watch. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dylan.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that was a little break from the news, and then we're gonna get into our last piece of news, which I'm really sorry about, but I will have to bring up Trump again. I know we're all tired of hearing his name, but I do have to talk about this because Trump is that toxic shrub that just keeps oozing toxins. Okay, so in his desperation to keep his throne as the leader of the imperialist headquarters, aka the United States of America, Donald Trump spitballed ordering the military to seize voting machines. Yes, to seize voting machines. And I use spitball in a very literal sense in this case. What I mean is that Donald Trump wrote a bunch of random ideas on a piece of paper, chewed them up, threw them at the wall, and then picked the ideas that stuck to the wall. Because seizing election machines must have stuck to the wall and have just been a random idea because it is insane. And he was planning on turning this idea into an executive order. That man has the confidence that he could just overturn the election by an executive order. And right there is proof to you that when politicians want something done, they will find a way to get it done. So the reason why they will not help you in any way, it's not because they can't, it's because they don't want to. Nonetheless, Trump's reasoning for seizing the election machines was that they were compromised by foreign powers, which is super ironic because for a lot of people, Trump's presidency was also sorry. This is so stupid. I'm going to try to get it out. It's super ironic because for a lot of Trump's presidency, a lot of people assume that Trump was actually compromised by foreign powers. So for him to try to seize voting machines because he thinks they're compromised by foreign powers is just truly weird and truly ironic. But as you all know, Donnie Poo's executive order to seize voting machines actually never happened. And I really want to know why it didn't happen. So if you have any ideas, please let me know in the chat. It just can't be because they thought it was a bad idea, because from what it looked like with all the ideas that they were executing to keep Trump in office, there was no such thing as a bad idea. So yeah. Here to talk to me about Trump, seizing or thinking about seizing these election machines is Veronica Cars. Veronica.
What's up?
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. I feel bad because Dylan was talking about football and I'm legit like watching a game as we're doing this.
You should have him come to your living room next time and just play it in the background.
I know. I was like, oh, I should have set it up over there, but the lighting, blah, blah, blah. I'm here. I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I am like a pro. I have epilepsy. So, we talk about seizing, baby. Like, you're talking to the right person, Marcela.
You already know about this.
Different. I'm happy. Any other type of seize, whatever. Let's do this.
Let's do this. So Veronica, we have earlier decided that we probably can't trust your feelings about the news, but we think you're funny. So we're going to ask you questions about the news anyway. Veronica, how do you think people should feel about a person who is elected to be president of the United States, aka Donald Trump, thinking he can just stay president by seizing voting machines?
We talk enough about how incompetent Trump is. So we already knew that. But say the question again. Sorry. How should you
feel about people?
People thinking they have that power?
People voting for somebody who would do something like this. The fact that people...
I worry about and I don't... What's the word? The fact that people would put someone in power that clearly is going to try to stay in power by doing anything. Like, how do I feel? Well, we know what type of people they are, and that goes into my thing about why I don't think white people should be allowed to vote. But regardless, like, I just don't think so. Like, except for one, like Dolly Parton. But regardless, like, that's how I feel in that. That's just my example. It's like why white people shouldn't be allowed to vote, because they do shit like this. That's the type of people they put into power. All right.
Yeah, they're gonna vote for like shitty people because they're racist, and all they care about is that they're racist. They don't care that this person can't do anything. It's that.
No.
How do you think we should prevent white people from voting? I mean, I don't think the government is going to legislate this, so I think we're going to have to take it upon us ourselves.
We gotta read. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Like the Purge, but us against them. No. One day we all get one. Like, we get to pick one that we can take down. Is that possible? I'm not advocating violence. I'm just saying we like hit one in the knee, like if like, oh yeah, we could like Nancy Kerrigan, a whole bunch of white people just waiting in line to vote, right in the knee. How should we do that? Sorry, I got so lost, and I was thinking about violence.
You know what we could say? We could say that Gwyneth Paltrow is giving free vagina candles away at a bodega. I mean, I think that might work for a lot of white women. And also
I know what you do. You would just air an episode of The Bachelor.
Oh yeah.
On a big screen
but also you get to meet them.
Yeah, like one Bachelor auditions, so The Bachelor put out like 14, like no, just 3, because that's enough. 3 like seasons of Real Housewives, and then like have a sale at fucking Anthropology.
An Anthropology sale. Oh,
yeah.
Have a 90% off sale at Anthropology, but it's only during the times when the election is happening.
Yeah, but all you got to text them is like, 90% off at Anthro, because I found out they call it Anthro. I've gone deep in the trenches. You know me. I made the mistake of sleeping with a couple of white women.
Are you the white womenologist?
I tried, man. That shit hurts. It bruises a lot. I've tried. I've retired since then.
Went to war, came back when you're done. You're done.
PTSD, baby. But go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. We're talking about these machines.
So voting machines, you think that the fact that people chose to elect a person who do something like this means that those people should not be allowed to vote. And because those people are white people should not be allowed to vote.
Right.
Okay. You know what? I don't think anybody should vote, but if we have to pick a race, it's gonna have to be white people, because they're not doing the right thing. Not even for themselves. That dude had them climbing on like the Capitol with no rock climbing training. Another thing, we should ban white people from rock climbing, because they're obviously gonna use those skills for the wrong things.
Now we got to bring down a whole bunch of group of lesbians that, they're very strong.
Okay. You feel like white people should not be allowed to vote. Okay, gotcha. Okay, next question. I don't even know what to say to that. That was funny. That's it. I'll leave it at that. So why do you think Trump didn't follow through with this executive order to seize voting machines?
I think he probably forgot. Honestly, he's so fucking old too. Like, he forgot. Dude legit forgot. And did you read how they talked about like the well, first of all, they've talked that like no one is taking credit for writing it because it's so bad. Like, they said anyone has yet, like, he didn't sign it, but they said they don't know who wrote it, because I feel like Trump wants to be like, and they're like, no, don't you say you wrote it. And they've said, what did they describe it as? Like, written in crayons.
Oh, like it was a child scribbling in crayon.
Like a child scribbling in crayon.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just complete garbage. You know what I mean? But also, like, it kind of got me jealous because it's like 700 pages, and I'm like on like, and he did this in like during the pandemic, and like, I don't know how much, I mean, you actually write during the pandemic, but like, I've maybe written 3 pages of like my new my new pilot. You know what I mean? So I read it and I was pissed, but also I was like hella inspired.
You're inspired by just like how much effort and energy they had during a pandemic while we're all hurting to like write.
Yeah. I'm like, really? You can manifesto this shit?
I mean, use that time towards something creative and productive. I mean, trying to bring down a whole country, I will say, is pretty creative and productive. I think you're gonna do
It's not banana bread. I'll tell you that.
or sourdough or whatever the sourdough thing.
Exactly.
It might take us long to happen, but
yeah.
okay.
Dribble.
Okay, last question for you is who do you think, not who do you think should happen to Trump? Who do you think should happen to Trump? A lot of people should happen to Trump. But I meant to ask, what do you think should happen to Trump?
In like overall? Like
Yes.
he deserves to, like, well, I mean, I feel like the proper answer would be something, if I were to choose harm on someone physically, it would be that. But as for now, because this is a comedy show, so don't choose physical harm. But I think definitely there obviously has to be some type of punishment and repercussions for all of this, which I'm not saying, even if you say he didn't do it, like if they're like, oh, he didn't do it, there should still be something for stopping it. Or not even
I
trying.
think so.
You
And
know
I
what I
think
mean? That's it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, well, I didn't do it. I go, but also you did nothing to stop it once it started.
Yeah. I think that's something that should be done is that we should build an island that's really small and just send him there. But like so small that you can't sleep on it, like you have to stand the whole time. Like I feel like that is what should happen to him. But then again, because I feel like that's something that we could do. The government's not going to do it, but who's stopping us from building a small island somewhere next to Florida and just putting him on it?
Just let him go. Yes, just leave him there. Leave him there.
The world would be a better place.
And just give him one of those machines and like let him figure it out. Be like, you get this. You know what I mean? Like, because he was like really want to get these machines, and I'm thinking, well, show him one and let him like figure it out. You know what I mean?
Like put him in this island with a screwdriver.
Yeah, and one of the machines, and be like, okay, prove it. Like, yeah, that's all. Sorry.
I love that. Put Donald Trump on an island and give him the voting machine and let him figure it out by himself. Thank you, Veronica. I feel like that's a really good solution to our Trump problem. Okay, that is it for the news. And now I'm going to bring back all the guests. Bring back Veronica, Ariella, Dylan. We're going to end the show by doing what I call a high moment. So a high moment is when I give the comedians or whoever, it's not always comedians, but whatever guest comes to the show, an opportunity to tell us a brilliant idea that they've come up with when they're high, an idea that they don't think they would have been able to come up with if they weren't high. And this doesn't necessarily have to be like high from drugs. It could just be like high from life, high from like being outside. And I'll go first. I got really high the other day and I realized that television is not based on our lives. Television tells us how we should live. You know what I mean? Like when they're showing us on stuff on TV, it's not stuff that we do in our lives. Nobody's house is that clean. Nobody's kids are that nice. No one looks that good all the time. It's a lie. So it's like they're telling us how we should live, and then we start feeling badly about ourselves, about things that like were made up, and it's just another way for them to get us to spend more money and keep focusing on like our pores when everybody has big pores, instead of focusing on the fact that this country is run by a bunch of shitty white dudes. Anyway, that was my high moment. It was very long. But I'll let Dylan go next. Dylan, what was your high?
Okay.
What is it?
My high moment. What's a high thought that I've had? Oh my God. Okay, so here's my high thought. Oh my God. Wait. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. So here's my high thought. I thought, like, oh my God. Okay. Here's my high thought. I love dick, and I also love to eat it, but I don't want to eat it now. But that doesn't mean I don't want to eat it. Not forever.
Yes, Dylan, that is such a good high thought.
Thank you so much.
Music.
Thank you.
I like the way you're like, I don't want to eat it now, but later.
But later, that doesn't mean I don't want to forever. Yeah.
We have plans. We have plans. Thank you, Dylan.
Thank
Arielle, would you like to tell us your high moment?
Yeah, my high moment is that I think that the power or leadership ranking in Congress should be based on hotness. Right? Like Pelosi,
Yeah.
McConnell out of there. Just the hot people at the top, and that's it.
Get Elmo in there.
Yeah.
He's red hot.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's hilarious. Veronica, what's your high thought?
Oh, high thought. My high thought. Well, first of all, I hate myself for the high thoughts I have because I don't smoke. So my high thoughts are after I get off like the stair mill at the gym. And the last one I wrote it down because like I have like my phone with me and I'm very like in the moment. I'm like, you got to have 3 thoughts. And the last thing I wrote was like Groundhog Day, but me getting across the border from Mexico.
That's awful. What? You got it perfect and then you wrote this down?
You know what's sad is I'm like 5th generation.
So you want to like torture yourself. Like that's, you know, when people work out, like they're supposed to be happy right after and like
that's when I get out my stress.
That is wild, Veronica. But also, honestly, who am I here to judge what your endorphins tell you? Your endorphins could be right. Maybe you need that work out.
That's what I was in the zone. I was in the zone. That was fueling me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gotta get really fast. Gotta get.
Yeah, pretend you're being chased.
It's so sick and awful. I hate it here. I hate it that this is something that has to happen to people to the point that people are working out and writing these things down. Fucking get rid of these borders now, immediately. I don't want them. They suck and they don't mean anything and it's atrocious. The only person who should be forced to have to do that is Donald Trump, as we've established. All right, that is our show, everybody. If you would like to support us comedians, please do. You can Venmo Marcela Onyango and please just say it's for Field the News show, or else I'm just going to assume it's my weed money instead of sending it to these lovely people who are here today telling jokes and helping y'all laugh. I really appreciate the support and thank you for coming. Again, it is Venmo Marcela Onyango. And I'm assuming that if you were going to Venmo me, you've probably already done it now. So I'm just going to go ahead and end the show and say good night. Once again, actually, before I end the show, I do want to do this. I'm going to have y'all just like tell people real quickly where they can find you. I will have this information also on the podcast, but just so that you can hear it now. Veronica, where can people find you?
Find me on Instagram. Just put in Veronica Garza comedian or at Barrows_got_jokes.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
Ariel, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram too at Ariel Diamond Evans 8.
Awesome. And Dylan, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Dylan Adler _ Twitter at Dylan Adler 6.
Yes, follow them. They're funny. They're the best. That's Field the News for tonight. Later, everybody.